Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of The Suited Shootist. And before I jump into this week's topic, I wanted to thank all the new subscribers. I do appreciate all the support, guys. Thank you so much. Welcome to the channel. If you have not already, the Bespoke Solutions Facebook page is a great place for discussion. We are having a bunch of good conversation over there. You've got some folks that are working on elevating their wardrobe and improving their style. You've got some folks that have some phenomenal questions in regards to kind of reconciling the balance between dressing better and still maintaining the appropriate level of carry gear. And occasionally there are some kind of good notifications about various deals and sales that are popping up for those folks that are looking to improve their image but are trying to do so as economically conscious as possible. So if you haven't signed up for that already, please go do. The link is in the description down below. Also, the Patreon page is alive and well, and if you've been getting a lot of mileage out of the channel and you want to show your appreciation directly, I would be grateful for you to sign up there. The link is down below also. This week is probably gonna ruffle some feathers, and it is not a unique thought by any stretch of the imagination. If anything, guys like Daryl Bulkey have articulated this thought far better than I can really hope to. But really what it boils down to is, for me personally, I am not particularly interested in what a former Navy SEAL or Delta operator or any Tier 1 dude chooses to carry, for a couple of reasons. The first and most obvious one is, if we're talking about what those dudes choose to carry on duty, that is a grossly different mission set from my day-to-day life. I'm not doing anything that's direct action. So if the closest thing that I would be able to pull out of, like the old infantry field manual would be react to contact or react to ambush. That's, as a civilian defender who carries a gun, none of the actions that you're going to be doing are you going to be the aggressor, just by very definition. Us in the US using deadly force has to be in a defensive role. So what those guys choose to use on duty is fairly irrelevant to my lifestyle. And I honestly don't particularly care what they choose to carry as concealed carriers once they have gone on to bigger and ostensibly better things in the private sector either. And it's not necessarily that at that point their mission set is very much different than mine, because just because they were a Green Beret or Dev Group or whatever else, at this point we're kind of all bound by the same laws and standards. But their capabilities are dramatically different than mine. It's one of those things where it's kind of like I give a shit what Mario Andretti drives on a daily basis, because his skill set behind the wheel is so far beyond what I'm capable of, because he did that professionally for an extended period of time, that you can put me behind the wheel of a Formula One race car, but there is virtually zero chance that I am going to be able to extract the performance out of that machine that it's capable of, because I don't have the time logged behind it. And so there's a lot of content out there, and I'm not casting aspersions at anybody, because I watch them too, because I'm curious. Mostly just because, for me, I'm interested to see if there's something out there that I didn't think of or that I was unaware of. But I'm not going out and Googling what do Navy SEALs carry, what do Delta Force carry, to directly influence my choice of carry equipment, because I don't have the same skill set, and the mission set is not really cross-applicable. So it's very easy to use it as a litmus test of, well, if these guys are carrying it, it must be good, so I should do that as well. And that's not necessarily a bad step in the decision-making process, but it shouldn't necessarily end there, because while I was not fortunate enough to get a chance to train with the man directly, I've heard Pat Rogers quoted numerous times in that mission drives the gear train. So for me, as a professional suburbanite, my needs are going to be dramatically different, because most of what I'm going to need a firearm for is getting me out of trouble, not going to trouble. And that's something that Chuck Pressburg has mentioned in several of his appearances on the Primary and Secondary podcasts. Even a guy at his level, he has his going to get into trouble guns and his getting out of trouble guns. Because, at one point, this was peak SOCOM performance. A Beret 92 with a surefire light rail and a weapon light. No red dot, no nothing, just this is what they worked with at one point in time. I have friends who carry something like this, and I probably could make it work, but something this substantial is a little more obtrusive than what I choose to work with on a daily basis. My carry gun is still, for the most part, my Glock 19, just with a red dot. I don't carry a light. Virtually never carry a spare, a spare mag, and so yeah. If you are going to reference the military loadout, just make sure that if you are doing so, it is appropriate. We've all been guilty of that firearms purchase or that equipment purchase because it feels like it gets us a little bit closer to that level of badassery. I've done it. I'm going to be hard-pressed for you to convince me that you haven't done it. But just make sure that you are looking through the appropriate lens and realistically evaluating your needs when you're picking your carry gear. And this is really important because, number one, you may find yourself trying to shoehorn an inappropriate piece of equipment into your lifestyle, which will then make you frustrated and make the whole process a much more negative experience than it has to be. Or, at the very least, it's going to lengthen the learning curve and make the whole process more expensive than it has to be. So, just a thought. Like I said, it's not a bad place to start in terms of formulating ideas, but just because the tier 1 guys are running it doesn't necessarily mean it's the optimal choice for you. So let me know what you think. Am I way off base here, or is it something that you think is worth exploring further? I'd love to hear your opinions down in the comments. And aside from that, I hope everybody has a great week. Stay dangerous and stay sharp.